And so I think of that situation, which it could happen, one person alone could prevent that from happening. And this does have to do with residential areas. So I'm not gonna support the 4/5. I'm gonna go for the 5/5 in case that one person stands to reason. I remember with the sale of City Hall, I was, as many of you know, I was against it. It's iconic, it's historical, it's a piece of our history. And to put a 12-story ALF and just say, okay, we're gonna give you a little, a couple of spaces for the city and call it free, was being sold for pennies on the dollar. One person was against that. And thank God that person was Walter, and I stand by him and his decision. Thank you.
Lisa, you're up next there.
I will be voting yes on this item. The reason is that if you look throughout our country, I think we'd be hard pressed, if not impossible, to find another municipality that has a 5 out of 5. If I'm not mistaken, this was originally brought up so that we could kind of curb any type of influence or corruption. But I feel that having the 5 out of 5 actually makes it more open to having one person hold any project hostage. And I don't know that that was the intent, but I feel that what has happened, the result, the unintended consequence of that has been that we are not able to move forward on things because we squeeze, one person will squeeze whoever it is to the point that we're at a standstill. And I don't think that's beneficial for our city. I think a supermajority, which is what you see almost throughout the United States, 4 out of 5, if not 3 out of 5, is strong enough to be able to hold the values of our city. When you vote for us, we should be aware of what we as a community would like. Not 3 of us, not 7 of us, all of us. And so that's why I believe 4 out of 5 is the best shot of representing the ideas and the opinions of all of us while not roadblocking our city from moving forward at all.
Thank you. Michelle?
Well, I feel like 4/5 sometimes causes some problems because in the past, it was just one vote that caused different projects or different things to not go. I don't feel that one person should stop everybody that's decided to vote. I personally believe that we should have all people on board. I believe if we work together hard enough, that we all should come to an even medium so that everybody should be able to agree. A lot of times it's because of the fact that we know that one person can make a decision. We just sometimes go along with the whole majority. But I think that if we know that we have to have everybody on board, I think it would allow us to be more, I'm not saying, commissioners, that you're not concerned about the situation and that we would be able to agree. Thank you.
Okay.
We now move to our second person at the table, Commissioner Gill. Kick off with referendum 2, and I'll read that so everybody can hear it. Shall City Charter, Article 2, Section 5.
Can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me that. I've got this mic, and I think you have to point it directly at your mouth to get the kind of volume we need in this room. So I'll start over. Reduction in the number of required commission meetings each month. Shall City Charter, Article 2, Section 5, Subsection C, be amended to give the City Commission more flexibility in scheduling meetings by only requiring one mandatory commission meeting each month during the months of November through January and June through August. All right?
Yes. Yes, I'm going to support this item.
there's a couple of times, and this doesn't happen very often, where we really don't have a lot going on the agenda. So this just gives us flexibility. I don't think this is going to be a huge impact on the commission. It's certainly, and I won't have it impact any city business. So if in December, we can roll it into one meeting, there's no reason maybe to have a meeting a week before Christmas. And this is the kind of flexibility this will give our commission. And serving, it's not one that we just want to go or meet less. I think it's just us being more efficient and with city employees in time. And yes, I'm going to support this item. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Javier, please.
Yes, I'll be supporting this item as well. I think the flexibility is positive. I don't think we'll be meeting less than 2 times a month, but if, again, as Louis mentioned, I think it does give us some needed flexibility on occasion.
Okay. Horace?
I'm not in support of this, and I'll tell you why, because if you're a business person that wants to open up a business in South Miami, and you need to meet with a commission to get a variance, be a developer, someone that needs to actually move ahead forward, not to have a meeting and say, oh, it's next month, when you have your money on the line, when you've actually spent money to get things rolling. I don't think it's a good idea, and I think the commission should be available at least twice a month. I mean, that's not asking very much. I've served on the city commission for many years, and I know that when you have people with pressing issues, they need to be heard. So I'm not going to support this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Lisa?
I will be supporting this item. The reason for that, and let me backtrack for 1 second. I was there when they were trying to think of the language that should be included here. And the way that it started out was that the city commission shall meet at least once a month. And that was giving the flexibility for if there was nothing upcoming on the agenda, they didn't have to, pull something or try to figure something out so that the meeting could be held. I think if we all watch commission meetings or attend them, even every once in a while, we'll stumble upon a meeting where there's items being discussed that are not maybe of the utmost importance. And when this came up, part of the discussion within the commission was also, sometimes there's not something to discuss, and other times, like was mentioned by Commissioner Gill, the commission does go and they meet. There's a lot of work that happens behind the scenes, that happens with city employees. And so he actually gave the good example of Christmas. And there's people that go away on holiday at Christmas and what have you. And so this also took that into account, having a little bit more flexibility. It's not saying if there's something that is of an urgent nature that a meeting will not happen. I don't think that's ever happened in our city's history that I'm aware of. So it's just giving some wiggle room, saying they shall meet at least once a month. So I'm supporting it.
Thank you. Michelle?
And I too support it, and basically because of the fact that, like she said, with November and December, it's during the holiday season. And we have to also remember that the commissioners are human just like we are. And also that if there is an urgent problem that comes up, that they can call a special meeting. They can get together and do something special. Also during the summer, I just think that that if there is something that is urgent on the agenda, or they need to come, they can also, like I said, call a meeting, and it should happen. Okay, so I'm for this. Thank you.
Thank you. We're now moving to South Miami. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I blew that one, Steve.
My intention was to say no to this one. The reason why is I really plan on working hard for the city, and I understand what the options of giving, when there's not that much work, and I understand that. And my first inclination is that I really want to work for the city. I think there's a lot of stuff that we need to go do. There's a lot of plans that need to be made, and a lot of execution that needs to happen. But I do understand about the flexibility, and obviously the language states that no more than one So I will say yes to this one, but I was really inclined to say no.
Okay. I want to be sure I got everybody now before we move on. I can't blow anything like that again. Establishment of a 4-year term of the office for the city mayor. The question reads as follows. Shall City Charter, Article 5, Section 2, titled General Elections, Paragraph A, be amended to increase the term of office of the mayor from 2 years to 4 years? Okay, let's start out with you.
Thank you. I'll be supporting this item. I think it puts the mayor's office on parity with the commissioners and given the change to the election calendar. I think the need for the mayor to run every 2 years has been diminished since commissioners will be running on a general election ballot as well. So I want to clarify on the last item, I think to pick up on Michelle Reedon's point, the mayor does have the ability to call a special meeting by himself. So if there is some urgent business, a neighbor needs a variance, we can certainly take care of that if it's important to them.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, I agree. It should be 4 years. The worst part of running for any office is actually raising funds, and sometimes you get, help from people that would want a favor in return. So if we can limit that, it's great, because it's less money that you have to raise, and that's always a good thing when you have less funds to have to go out and campaign again. And every 2 years, it's a hard job, and I commend everybody, and all of you, the mayors that are here, and Josh Levy for running. It's not an easy thing to do, and knocking on doors. So 2 years, I think, is not enough to get your vision done, to get the jobs that you want to do, and to actually fulfill your promises. So 4 years is what I would vote for. Thank you.
I too will be supporting this item simply because, like Horace Value has said, it becomes a perpetual campaigning job for the mayor. They win the seat, they have a little while where they could just be the mayor, and then they're off and running again, campaigning for the next time, while the commissioners have the benefit of 4 years. So that's actually very clever, and I believe absolutely necessary.
Thank you. Michelle?
All I have to say is ditto. Ditto. I do go for that. I just agree that we all should be on one schedule. If the commissioners have 4 years, I feel that the mayor should have 4 years, just like Lisa was saying. By the time you get into the office, get acclimated with the office, and know what's going on, it's time to get out the office again. You got to campaign again. So I think it's only fair that the mayor also be in office for 4 years.
Thank you. Now we move to question 4, and that will give... Who's going to leave? I keep... You're going to get rid of me, Calvin.
I agree with everybody here on the forum. It's a yes for me. The commission has an equal vote as the mayor. They should have the same amount of time as commissioners, so I agree with this. It's a yes for me.
As Michelle said, ditto. And Javier alluded to it, changing the election from February to November has made the November election it's just more relevant. So we don't need a 2-year term, and they're correct. You're perpetually running at 2 years.
Okay, did we cover everybody now? I want to be sure. I can't make that same faux pas again. I just can't do that. All right. Javier, I am right on calling on you this time.
I went first last time.
Oh, you were first last time? All right, good.
Now we go again.
All right, Horace will pick it up for us. Horace, will you take question 4, and I'm going to read it again. Authorizing city offices and departments internal fund transfers throughout the fiscal year with commission approval. Shall City Charter, Article 4, Section 2, Subsection F, be amended to allow internal fund transfer of appropriations between city offices and departments currently restricted to the last 3 months of the fiscal year, throughout the fiscal year with commission approval.
When I started out as a commissioner many, many years ago, I didn't need glasses, but I do now. I'm in favor of this because it allows flexibility. It allows the manager and the commission to do what they need to do to do the best business they can at the time, and you never know what happens from one day to the next. So having this restriction is not a good idea. I'm in favor of removing it. Thank you.
Okay?
I too am in favor of removing it. I think we've got an excellent city manager, an amazing director of finance, and I think they've got their pulse on what is the budget and the actual workings of our city. Therefore, I think they are best served having the flexibility to be able to say, we don't need these funds here, they can be moved there. It's not like they're gonna be going crazy with it, I don't think. I just think it opens an opportunity so that there's not one department or area in distress while another department has a surplus.
Okay. I too agree that we should have it the entire year. And based on as well what Lisa says, that we do have a great city manager as well as a financial person. So therefore, we can trust them to do what is right to do. Also, it indicates that with the commission approval. But like I said, it's something that it looks like every corporation or business does. So why should we just postpone it for whatever reason? I'm not understanding why we would do it and the circumstances, but I think to go through the whole year, it would be the best thing to do.
Okay? I'm not gonna miss you. I'm not gonna do that again.
Being on the Budget and Finance Committee, we saw a lot of opportunities where we could have made some changes, and we were restricted because of that. So I definitely going to vote yes. I think our Director of Finance, Alfredo Rivero, does a fantastic job. Sherry Kamali did a great job of getting it all together. Obviously, we're losing her, so hopefully the next city manager will assist in all this as well. So again, my answer is yes.
Thank you. Yeah, my answer is yes as well. This is just gives the staff and commission flexibility, so I'll be supporting.
So we went first 6 or 6 on this one. I'll be supporting it as well. I think this is something that is flexibility we need, but it's something that we should use pretty infrequently, right? This is something that we should use when we are budgeting in a pandemic year, for example. We're expecting certain costs to be very high or certain revenues to be low, and those interfund transfers should be pretty scarce during the course of a typical operating year. But it's good flexibility to have.
Everybody had a chance to respond this time. Just want to be sure. All right, now we move on to South Miami referendum number 5. This is the 5th item that appears on the official ballot. I'm sorry. We move on to referendum number 5. This is the 5th referendum item that appears on the official ballot. You will see this when you go to the polls or when you mark your ballot that has been sent to you by the Department of Elections. Establishing that installation of elected officials is 6 p.m. the business day following election certification. Shall City Charter Article 5 and Section 5C be amended to correct the conflict in the procedure for installation of elected officials by changing the date and the time from 8 p.m. the day after the election to 6 p.m. on the business day following the certification of election results. And we'll start with the next candidate, okay?
For me, this one is simple. I think that, well, I stopped working. Wait,
It's not working.
no, oh, no, sorry, the microphone fell apart. I believe that this one, now that we've moved to November election, is even more important than it might have been before. It just makes perfect sense to say, we're doing it 6 o'clock, the next business day after the election's been certified.
I believe, okay. I think that we should go to 6 p.m. and why should we have to wait till 8 o'clock the next day? So, I mean, I don't see the reason to do that. So I think it just makes sense, as Lisa says, to go ahead and do it at 6 o'clock.
Moving down to the far end of the table, I'm calling on you now. Don't run from it.
For this one, yes, it's with the change, like Lisa said, the change made it easy and viable. This is a correction in semantics, so absolutely yes.
Yeah, I'm in favor of this as well. I think it follows county law. I think elections need to be certified before you install an official. If that election is challenged and you install it the next business day, you have a problem. So I'm definitely in favor of this. Also on the time, I have a daughter that's 6 years old and her bedtime is 8 o'clock. And I want her to see me get installed. 6 o'clock works for me. Thank you.
So I need a clarification from Mr. Pepe in the back. This takes effect after this election, correct? Good, because I had promised my wife a vacation after this election, and it's going to take effect immediately, then I'd be in deep trouble, so we'd be missing that trip. So I will be voting yes.
Yeah, this is to correct the conflict and housekeeping pretty much, so I'm in favor of this. I'll be voting yes. Everybody?
Yes, everybody.
We got everybody. Wow. Okay, let's give ourselves a hand. At this time, we're going to take about a 6-minute recess and give the candidates a chance to catch their breaths, and the members of the committee to get the box up here with the cards, questions, and so forth, and then we'll be ready to get started again, and we'll be firing questions at the. Yeah, we're going to fire at you. All right. Okay. Be prepared to fire back. All right. So we're going to take a 6 to 7 minute recess right now. Thank you.